not a lot has changed since the last time we saw you in terms of games played and things like that, but what have you done over the past couple of weeks and months just for your game?
Something I've really taken pride on is just staying in tip-top shape, working on flexibility, longevity, making sure my body's right, eating right, staying hydrated, stuff like that. And on the court, I've been just working on my shot, working on becoming a better playmaker for my teammates. And those are the two main things I've probably been focusing on the most this offseason.
You had talked about when you said you came back that you wanted to get better at that three-point shot. Where do you feel like it is right now compared to where you felt like it was last year?
I feel like I'm very comfortable. It's where I am right now. I'm very comfortable shooting it, confident in it. So that's where I stay right now.
Coach Chambers mentioned that the expectation of the NCAA tournament can be overwhelming. How do you feel about those expectations, and what are you expecting out of this team this year on the court?
Well, for me, being a senior, just knowing that this is my last year playing college basketball, something that I've always dreamed about as a kid. So it's not overwhelming for me. It's a challenge that I'm ready to accept, and I think that my teammates are as well. It's something I dreamt about forever, so I'm excited for the challenge to come and, the adversity we're going to face to get there. But I think this team will be ready for that step.
Lamar, you have a couple more Catholic League guys joining you this year, Isaiah and obviously Seth, who also went to Roman. Can you just talk about those guys a little and what exactly you feel they're going to bring to the team?
Isaiah, it's going to hurt me to say, so he's probably the best athlete on the team. Got like 44-inch vertical, 45-inch, something crazy. Super fast, super good in transition. He's a good three-point shooter. I think he's one of the most exciting players we have on the team. I think fans are really going to fall in love with his game. Seth he reminds me a lot of me when I was a freshman. He has really good size, good skill, probably a better three-point shooter than I was coming in. And he just can impact the game in so many ways on offense and defense, can create his own shot. He's a good athlete. I think that's the guy that came here with a Big Ten ready body. So I think he's going to be really good for us as well.
Lamar, back left here. Coach Chambers talked a little bit about the team developing a Mamba mentality and mentioning your name as sort of creating that mentality within the rest of the roster. Is that something you feel like is day-to-day that you just sort of try to develop, or is that something that just gradually you try to keep building in terms of your basketball IQ?
I think it's something that is an everyday thing. Coach wants me to have that mentality, that killer mentality, that dominant mentality in every drill and every practice and everything we do. And I think it's good for me and for the team because there's no settling. You can always get better. And you can always push yourself to that limit and never settle for less. So I think that for me personally, it's an everyday thing, every drill, every practice.
Lamar, how have you and the other two seniors, Grant and Mike, how have you guys been working on your leadership and working with all the sophomores and freshmen?
Well, we've all seen so many different things playing in the Big Ten these past 3 years. So we just try to pass down our experiences and our knowledge and stuff that we've learned to the younger guys to prepare them a little bit faster for all the things that they may encounter. So just trying to share that knowledge and just set the tone on the court, be the hardest playing people that we can so they can follow the lead, be the loudest players on the court, stuff like that. And that's how we really focus on leading this team.
When you're getting the best version of Mike, what does that look like?
It's a guy that can get double-double every night, get any amount of blocks. He's just a game changer, I would say. He can impact the game in so many ways, offensively and defensively. I think when Mike is at his best, he's probably the best big man in the Big Ten. And I don't think it's close. I think that he has, and even as Penn State, I think he has real pro potential. Just with his ability to, catch lobs and block shots and impacting him so many ways. So Mike at his best is a really, really, really good player.
And then for you guys that have been around him for as long as you have,
Yeah.
what do you feel like your role is in getting him to that place?
One thing I think that Mike has really grown up with over these past couple seasons is really just holding himself accountable, like knowing when he's at his best and maybe when he's not, and what to do to make sure he stays at that level. And I think that's something Mike has really taken pride in, and something that he's really shown to his teammates and coaches over this past time. So, we just hold each other accountable as we would with any other teammate. But I think Mike is hardest on himself.
Lamar, early on this season, what do you think is the biggest difference between this year's team compared to last year's team?
The biggest difference, for sure, is our depth. I think we have 11 guys that could seriously play and seriously make impacts. I think we have a lot of guys that can erupt for 20 points a game, and we have guys that can get stops and rebounds, and that's the biggest difference for this team, because there's so many guys that can play, so many different guys that can start each night and really, step up in times that we need it. So I think that's the biggest difference.
Lamar, you could tell last year that Mike physically wasn't right where he had been in the past. Where is he now with regard to that as compared to where he was when he was all Big Ten defensive Mike?
He's back to that form.
And how important is that for you guys to get where you want to go, to have that Mike Watkins?
It's very important. When Mike is Mike, he's the best big man in the Big Ten. And that goes, that says it all for itself, and we can use that every night. And he really, helps the guards, in times where they may get blown by. He's always there to save the day with a huge block and can come up with very timely rebounds and score. So Mike can win his games in so many different ways, and having him out there at that high level is something that's very important to us. And I think that's something that he's really taking pride in, to make sure that he's that Mike every night.
And one last thing, Isaiah obviously had a year to transition into the program. What has it been like for Curtis to come in and be kind of expected to be an immediate impact guy as a senior?
Curtis, he's a fifth-year senior. He's seen so much. He's been in the Big Ten. He knows what it takes. So he kind of got here and immediately just got in right with the guys and immediately fit right in. Immediately emerged as a leader, because you just could tell like his knowledge of the game and just the experiences he's been through. And he was able to, shed some of that light on me and some of the younger guys. So Curtis's transition has been smooth since he's gotten here, and he's really emerged as a big-time player for us.
Lamar, Coach said that he shares a lot with you just to get better, and certain things like podcasts or just, little moments. Is there something specifically that stuck with you coming up this season that he shared with you?
Yeah, we share so many things. Like, it would be hard for me to pinpoint one, but I would say we always talk about Kobe Bryant and just his mindset going into practices and even games, just always trying to attack it and be the best you always, and there's never any days off with that. So I think that's something that me and him are really taking pride in. But like you said, he's always showing me stuff and always sending me stuff and talking to me about different ways for me to get better on the court and just as a man. So it would be hard for me to pinpoint one, but that's something that he's harped on the most, I would say.
You mentioned how much Seth reminds you of yourself. Do you sort of take a bigger mentorship role with him then, just because you see so much of yourself in his game? And how much do you work with him on his individual game?
Yeah, me and Seth went to Roman Catholic together too, so I was a senior when he was a freshman, and it's the same thing now. So we've developed a really strong brotherhood and a real trust within each other. And when we play each other, you would think we wouldn't like each other, because he knows my game, I know his game, and we're always just pushing each other to get better. And I think that's something that I've taken pride in, because I see his potential, and I've known him for years. So for me to see him succeed would mean a lot to me because I know the work he puts in and I know how good of a guy he is.
Lamar, through the grind of the season, especially the Big Ten, how is this team compared to last year's team better equipped to handle a tough 2-3 game stretch so that it doesn't spiral and that you guys aren't starting 0-8, 0-9 Big Ten play?
Yeah. I think those experiences that we went through last year are really going to help us this year. Get through, tough spots like that. There's never a season that's not going to have its ups and downs. And I think last year we experienced the worst of it, and we were able to, climb out of that and continue to play hard, continue to play Penn State basketball, and continue to come in here and want to get better each day. So I think that we're prepared for that with the older guys that we have, and I don't think anything should really knock us off our course this year.
Lamar, both you and Coach have talked about the depth of this team, and I'm just curious how you think that the depth of this team is going to play into the diversity of lineups you can put on the floor, whether that's going bigger or going smaller at times.
Yeah, I think we always want teams to match up to us. I think we have, so many different dynamic lineups. But if it ever was to come down to it that we had to match up with the team, we could in any way. I think we can go big, we can go small, 3-point shooters, slashers, more tough rebounding, stuff like that. So we could do so many different lineups, and I think that's really what's going to help us, win this game, to even match up when maybe days that our shots aren't falling, be able to put in a bigger, better defensive lineup and get stops and rebounds.